Hello, Money Multipliers. Welcome back to another episode of the Money Multiplier podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Kessler, and we ask ourselves, do our dollars make sense? So in today's episode, we're going to focus on gratitude, mindset, and then carrying these two attributes into our financial life. So I'm going to open up to y'all and I'm going to be very honest. I'm a little burnt out this week. All right. We've been traveling a lot, which I'm so incredibly grateful for, but just being on that go, 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 and then working from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night, those 12, 13-hour days back to back, it's just like, whoo, start to catch up to you. And it's important to take some time for rest and your own TLC and different things like that. So I thought this would be a good episode and kind of a topic to talk about, just especially because I'm in that mindset right now. And I'll be honest, I actually took some time to completely shut off my phone. I didn't touch my phone, my emails one time this past weekend, when normally I'm checking everything from morning to evening time, all days of the week. And so I just really needed that rest and me time to get myself back grounded and focusing on me and my true health, whether it be my mindset, my body, my relationships in my life, my money side of things. And so what I actually did is, and I wrote it down here on my notepad, but you know how I kind of talk about that there's 5 different areas in our life, and the whole objective is trying to keep those areas in our life even or balanced, because right when one thing starts going really top heavy, the other things start to come down and get neglected a little bit, and you'll notice that it kind of hurts you in those other areas of life. You know, if I'm spending all my time working, I'm not replying to my girlfriends or, reaching out to my family members who I still want to have a good relationship and bond with. I mean, crap, even just, I'll be honest, I haven't even looked at a lot of my investment accounts here recently, when normally I like to go in there and check on those things on a monthly basis. And I've just been letting things slide and ride, and I don't know what's going on in all of those other areas of my financial life too. So what I did is I really took some time this weekend and I wrote out those different areas in my life to make sure, hey, what are we doing good at? What could I be improving it? And what are some things I should just totally let go in, right? So in the 5 areas that I do, you have your health and your personal, okay? So working on your mind, your body, and straightening those. Then you got your relationships, okay? Whether it be with your family members, your spouse, your significant other, your children, even your coworkers or different things like that. But then you got your career, right? Making sure that that's all in balance, basically, that you're not bringing your work home with you, as my dad likes to call it. All right, when you walk into the office, I don't care what other shit you got going on in your life, there's a clothesline hanging on outside, and you need to go and hang all of that bad baggage in before you walk into the office. And I get it, right? Because we're turning on the work brain and you're working your 9 to 5 now. So we got the career side, then you got your money and your financial life, okay? And that's pretty self-explanatory, right? What you're working on in your money situations, whether it's investments or debts you're paying off, different things of how money is flowing and flowing out of the family. And then finally, you got your spiritual life. Doesn't matter if you're a believer in God or not, or whatever faith or religion that you follow, right? You got your spiritual life and that intuition connection that you have with yourself and your higher being of whatever that you believe in. So I really took some time to highlight out those different areas of my life to say, all right, girl, where have you been focusing all of your attention on? Where are some things that you should start putting up some boundaries in? And it's okay to say no. All right, I'll be honest. I am the worst person to do that. I have this need or this feeling that I just got to fix everybody's issues and reply to everybody right now. And it's just not my duty, right? So you got to have those specific boundaries, because at the end of the day, this is your life and how you're living. and you shouldn't be writing somebody else's story for them. It's their responsibility to be writing their own journey, and you don't got to solve everybody's issues. You don't got to have the answers to everybody's problems. I mean, yeah, it should be good that you should be there, be a listening ear to your close friends, family members, relatives, but you don't got to fix everybody's issues all the time, right? As my mom likes to say, I ain't your mama. It ain't my job to raise you or fix these issues for you, and I'm not your therapist, right? So I really took some time to just talk internally with myself and kind of fix those different areas. Something else that I'm incorporating in my life too, there's actually this daily gratitude journal that I write in every single day. Actually, one of my clients, she is the author of this book, or this journal, the creator of the journal, I should say. Her name is Michelle. You can go purchase that book on Amazon. That has really helped me with staying grounded as well and just finding daily gratitude in things, because then you don't start going off the deep end and just, having this negative mindset. There's always something every single day that you can be grateful for, no matter it's how large of, oh, I got a full ride scholarship to college, or my parents are buying this house for me. It could be as small as, oh, I'm just thankful that I woke up and I have a cup of hot coffee that I can drink this morning, right? So just find gratitude every single day in your living, and from there you'll take that mindset into other areas throughout the day that you can really focus on and be more present in. So for this episode, I want to talk about, specific money habits, because, right, that's the circle that I like to talk about a lot in my podcast show, and helping people day in and day out, sitting down with families of how can we better, or what can we do different to take back the control of the money and the banking business in our life. And that's really my specialty. But that's just one of the circles, right? We can't neglect the other circles that we have to keep everything in balance. So in today's episode, I want to get into, personal growth and financial success, and the power of having these positive financial habits and mindsets as you walk through your journey of this life. So that's my topic I want to chat just a little bit about today. Reminder, y'all, all right, we got our Money Multiplier Mastermind coming up in October. It's going to be held in Nashville, Tennessee. So October 10, 11, 12, Nashville. I'll see y'all out there. I'm very excited. And as always, go to our website, themoneymultiplier.com, and underneath the resources tab, you can see events, and you can see all the events that we're traveling around and speaking at throughout the country. Even webinars, because actually, if y'all don't follow Chris Naugle, Chris, Naugle, Chris Naugle, go look him up. You can even just type in chrisnaugle.com in the search engine, or YouTube. But actually, Chris is coming out with another weekly webinar that he's doing. So we're doing webinars Monday through Friday, every single day of the week. So we got 7 live webinars, along with the Wealth Wednesday and the Ask Me Anything that we do every single Wednesday as well. And then also, on Wednesdays, he does have the What the F Happened, right? It's just a big markets update and what happened the week prior and where we see this week going. So highly recommend checking out Chris and what he's doing over there. And with that being said, I think that's all my announcements. So let's get into the episode. So first, let's talk about some key habits that we could be incorporating into our life. Something that really creates us long-term longevity or legacy of wealth, I should say. Number one that I always like to talk about is that we should be paying ourselves first. Okay, I know y'all hear that all the time, pay yourself first, but we never do it. Actually, I was just talking with somebody last week, and she was talking about how her sibling, they grew up in the same household. She's got I think she said 6 other siblings, so brothers and sisters. And she says, most of them do pretty good with money, but I do have this one brother that he is just not great. We grew up in the same household with the same mom and dad, but when dad was sharing with us that we should be paying ourselves first, he was kind of thinking that, okay, well, when I get paid, I should be going and spending my money on buying new shoes, buying food, going out to eat, going to the clubs, partying, and different things like that. And that's me paying myself first, and then I'll go pay all of my other bills, right? So let's establish what I mean by paying yourself first. When you get money that rolls in through your hands before you pay any of your other bills, you pay yourself at least 10% of your income. So if you are the type of person you're making $5,000 a month, you should be keeping $500 a month for yourself. So all I want you to do, if you don't already have this, if you just have one main checking account that all of your income gets paid into, I want you to have a separate designated pay yourself first account. And all this is just a separate checking or savings account that you hold at the local bank. And I actually called mine. I can bring it up on my phone and show y'all, but I actually called mine the pay myself first account. So what that tells me is that when I get money that rolls in through my hands, doesn't matter how the money's coming in, investment, active, passive, a check in the mail from a friend for selling something, doesn't matter. When you get money that rolls in through your hands, I want you to start paying yourself first. So just move, like in this example, if I'm making $5,000 a month, I should be saving at least $500 a month. That's 10%. And I'm moving that $500 a month into that segregated checking or savings account. And I don't touch that money. That is me paying myself first. That's not used for bills. It's not used for the food, fun, and the fashion. So that is me truly paying myself first. And then with that, I will then use that money to go put towards my premium into my policies, or I will go and use it to maybe pay back my policy loans. Okay. I don't keep any more than 3 months of overhead inside of my checking or savings account. And that's all of my accounts combined. So what I'll do is I'll move some of that money back to my policies, or even start more policies, pay more premium. And that's me starting to flow that money through my privatized banking system. So always, always, always at least pay yourself first the 10% and follow that with you for as long as that you live, because when we get older, hopefully the income keeps rising, that us paying ourselves first will become greater and greater as time goes on. So pay yourself first is definitely a habit, totally excluding the policies out of it, you should be doing. Okay, so always pay yourself first. Always look at the budgeting for yourself and your family. I've talked about it a few times. I use the app called Rocket Money. I pay them $5 a month and they track all of my spending, my income. I have all of my credit cards, my bank accounts linked up to it. And it tells me where my money's going. And it really sorts it out into these different categories as well. So I know where the majority of my money is being spent on. So I really enjoy the app Rocket Money because I don't have to go in there and manually plug in all of the data for it. So I highly recommend, my folks, if you guys aren't budgeting for yourselves, or you are not a numbers spreadsheets person, and you don't want to go in there manually, you're just too busy to track all of this or put in the actual data for the accounting purpose of it, go and download that app called Rocket Money. I love using them. I've been using them now probably about 2.5 years. I turned my brothers onto it because I'll be honest, they're not the greatest with money. So I'm helping them get more educated on their money habits that they have. But be budgeting. So I would say number one is budgeting. Make sure you're saving at least the 10%. And then number two is pay yourself first and pay yourself at least that 10%. So budget, pay yourself first. And I would say for my folks who are practicing the infinite banking concept, play honest banker with yourself. When you borrow money from the policy, don't just treat it like it's free money. Pay yourself back and charge yourself back with interest. Treat your money just how you treat the conventional bank's money. So if I'm going to go out and purchase something, I'm always going to pay myself back and charge myself with interest. Right? It's the freedom now, though, right? You have the freedom to dictate whether you even want to pay yourself back or how much you pay yourself back monthly, quarterly, or whatever. But, always pay yourself back and don't be afraid to pay back the policy loans. Okay, just get the money moved out of the commercial banks back into your control where it's going to be protected. You're earning tax-free, uninterrupted compounding, and you're in total control of that warehouse of where you're leaving those hard-earned monies at. So for my folks who are actively practicing IBC, pay yourself back with interest. And I would say lastly too, y'all, you should be planning, okay? You guys have heard me say the same before, but I picked it up from my father. He always talks about how a failure to plan is a plan to fail. So plan for some of these upcoming expenses. Don't be scrambling around 3 days before your premium's due and you're like, holy shit, I don't have this premium right now. How am I going to make my premium deposit into my policy? Well, hello, your premium is due on the same day every single month or every single year. So you should have been planning for your premium into your policy. And I get it. Life happens and sometimes we may not have those dollars, but y'all plan, okay? Come on. You know what you should be doing, and it's your responsibility now to take action and be disciplined with yourself, okay? I will be honest, I have not been very disciplined with myself, my money habits recently. I got these investments that are just working for me, and I got one investment right now that I'm like, okay, well, I'm sitting here at the beginning of the month here in May, and I should have received a check already. Well, where's the check at? Haven't seen anything quite yet, right? And if I was a little bit more disciplined in checking in on these things, maybe like the first of the month, I could have tracked it down, right? So, be disciplined and be honest with yourself and where you're at and just set out some time, okay? So, carry those good principles and habits for yourself through your financial life, just like how you do. So, for my gym rats that get up every single day, 4 or 5 a.m., and y'all are hitting the gym, take that same discipline with yourself and your money habits too. For my folks, I'm talking to you, Hannah Kessler. So, for my folks who like to get up and just check your emails the first thing in the morning and have your emails for breakfast, Hannah, it's okay to block out some time in your day to go hit the gym or go outside, go for a walk on the beach. You need to be doing that for yourself because that's going to be good for your mental health habits, right, Hannah? So just stuff like that, right? We just got to be disciplined. Like, here's what Jason Sipple always says. He says, it's you get to choose the pain. It's either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I'll be real, I've been feeling the pain of regret here recently. So when I check back in next week, I'm going to be in a lot better of a headspace because I'm having those internal tough conversations with myself, and I'm going to be a lot better when I come back next week for y'all. But those are just a few of the positive financial habits that I want y'all to carry throughout your life. And with that, let's kind of talk about the mindset habits that we should be practicing as well. So I always want y'all to have the growth mindset for yourselves, okay? We got our growth mindset or we got our fixed mindset. And Nelson Nash talks about it. Don't hit the arrival syndrome thinking that you know everything there is to know in this world and you can't learn a single damn thing moving forward. So have that growth mindset for yourself and do these weekly, monthly check-ins with yourself, okay? So if here's a question. I was talking to somebody this past week, and she was a little hesitant about making premiums moving forward in the future. And, my mindset, because I'm just so deep into this stuff day in and day out, I'm just like, well, crap, why are you being so hesitant about wanting to make your premiums moving forward? You should be happy and elated when your premium notice comes due in the mail, because you know that you're going to roll into that next year inside of your policy, and it's just going to be more efficient compounding and growth that's going to happen to you in the policy in this year than what it did even last year. And it's just because of the compounding interest and that uninterrupted growth that we get to have inside of these policy contracts, these whole life contracts that are guaranteed to grow, and it's an appreciating asset for ourselves. And she was just kind of nervous because she's like, well, I don't know how I'm going to be paying these premiums, and I feel like my premiums are too high. And honestly, we were walking through her cash flow and her budget for herself and her life, and I'm just like, Miss Lady is what I'm going to call her. Miss Lady, you should not be concerned right now. What are you doing with all of this extra money that you're keeping and saving for yourself? You told me you have income of X and your expenses are B, so X minus B, you're still coming on top as a positive every single month. What are you talking about? You got plenty of cash flow that should be flowing through the policy. And it's just that mindset of not being around this for long enough, retraining the thinking, or what Nelson likes to call rethinking our thinking, of talking about these premiums like there are deposits into our banking system. Don't be afraid to make your premium deposit, because y'all, if you ever needed to, you can always go in there and pull back and reduce down the premiums for right now. So don't be concerned about, well, do be concerned, right? I want you guys to prep for it and plan for your policy premiums, but you should be really asking yourself, well, how much can I do this year? I want to max out this thing as much as I possibly can. How much is that maximum premium that I can deposit into my policy this year? So if you just follow the rules of what I stated in my first little bullet point of having those good financial habits, you will not need to be concerned about having this fixed mindset of, oh my goodness, where is my next premium coming due? No, because you are doing the due diligence and the work for yourself to be prepped for this next year when you got to pay your premium again. So, take that with you. Or like, here's something else. This is what Larry Steinhaus always says. He says that there's financial choices and there's lifestyle choices, right? Like, yeah, my best financial choice for me should be that I can run every single penny and dollar through the policy as I possibly can. But sometimes it just may not be feasible, because let's say that a house in downtown New York City just came up for rent, and oh my gosh, I've been looking at this apartment complex since 2 years ago, and if I don't hop on this right now, somebody's going to come in and snag that deal right underneath my feet. And because we know it's going to be high demand living in New York City, and there's only apartments that come on the market, they're like there for like 2 weeks at max, and until somebody comes in and starts renting it out again. So the good thing to do is, hey, let's wait until I have the money in my policies, or I start to max out the paid up edition premium, that I can run that money and cycle it through my policy first. But I get it. If there comes a time where you're like, hey, I really need this money right now because I got some goals I'm trying to accomplish, there's financial choices and there's lifestyle choices. The lifestyle choice I would tell you is go ahead and put in your application, pay that renting application fee for right now, and just see if you can even get the apartment, So there's no right or wrong way to really live your life. And I hope y'all are grasping that concept as I walk through this message. But there's things and good principles and habits that you should be carrying with you as you make these big decisions for yourself, and consult with people too. I guess that would be my other thing, is be involved in communities that have the same mindset and principles that you do. No, you don't got to agree with everybody on your political status or your money habits or what you're doing for your job or how you're raising your children, right? You don't got to agree on everything. I mean, everybody's got their own damn opinion. It's almost like, I don't want to say that word, but right, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that. Everybody's got that going on, and so everybody's got their own opinion, just like how they do X. I think most of you folks will get that reference. So just follow what's true to you and your word as you walk through this life, because this is your story that you're writing. Nobody else has to walk in your shoes. You got to be happy walking through your own life in your shoes and living the lifestyle that you do and you choose for yourself. And sometimes you're going to have to make sacrifices, right, y'all? I mean, I had to make some sacrifices as I go out every single weekend, time away from my cats, my friends, because I'm going out and I'm really trying to build my business right now where, I'm trying to hustle and bustle as much as I can till I hit the age of 30, because hopefully from the time that I'm 30 and on, I can be enjoying my life, working when I want, not having to do 12, 13-hour days, because I got people who can help me within my business, who I've trained to the point that they're like mini Hannahs, that I don't need to go out there and speak on every single stage that comes up. I can send other people out there on my behalf doing these things for me, because I'm grinding. I want to work these next 10 years because my game plan is I want to party the rest of my life. I don't want to be partying these next 10 years and then working the rest of my life. So there's different things that you can really start taking in for yourself and what you can be including into your habits right now. Here's what else I want y'all to really do too. Do your check-ins, okay? Do your check-ins. If you're a client of us over here at the Money Multiplier, talk with your mapping and implementation specialist. They are there checking in with you every single quarter. And I'll be honest, some of y'all ghost. You guys don't even answer the phone when we just try to check in on you. Not even a, hey, got your message. I'm good right now. We'll catch you next quarter. Some of y'all just don't even reply back. And I get everybody's busy, but y'all, you should be having those regular check-ins with yourself and your mentor who's helping you implement these good financial habits with your life. It's almost like therapy. Like, I'll be honest, like I've been doing therapy now for going on about 2 years. When I was in high school, I did a lot of therapy because I kind of shared a little bit of this story, but right, I kind of make the joke that y'all did not want to have me as your daughter growing up. I was a freaking hellion to my parents, and I'm still apologizing to this day for all of the crap that I put my parents through. But I even like therapy. Like, there was just like 1 month where I didn't do any sessions because I was like, hey, life's great. I don't need to be doing this right now because I'm doing so great over here. But then it's like that next week comes and you're just like, pow, you like hit a wall and you're just like, oh shit, I need you. And it's like, well, hey, if I would have been doing these like weekly check-ins with my therapist, I would have had these good habits that I could have started implementing right away. But unluckily, I just had to sit in my own despair for a little bit and gather my thoughts until she had her next appointment available to talk to her again. So even if there's like nothing that you really got to talk about, just do your check-ins with people. All right, your mentors, your family members, just everybody in your life that's helping you progress to that next step. Do your follow-up and your check-ins with people, because one thing I've noticed, like even in my like therapy life, there's some days I show up and I'm just like, I got nothing to talk about. Life's great right now. I don't really have any issues going on. But then as we get to talking more and more, I'm just like, oh, there is that I'm, kind of curious on. How do I handle this situation? And we'll really get into these deep conversations. And I remember even messaging her one time back and I said, hey, even though I didn't have much to talk about today, talking to you made me feel a lot better and I was already in a great mood. So it's just getting things off of your chest best and, exploring with other people who are in the same habits and communities that you are, so that you know that you're just not a lone ranger out there all by your lonesome. Because I'm telling you, when it hits you hard, it hits you freaking hard. So take that with y'all, and I want you guys to really start incorporating your mapping, your implementation meetings, replying to people when they are just checking in with you. And it doesn't have to be a long conversation, y'all. I mean, some of my phone calls with y'all are like 2 minutes long. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? How's life? How are the kids? You need anything from me? Oh, you're doing good? All right, I'll check back with you in a little bit. Right? I mean, it doesn't have to be such lengthy, long conversations, because we're all busy people. We all got so much crap going on in a day that we just kind of need to get grounded again. So do your weekly and quarterly check-ins with your mapping and implementation person, and set goals for yourself. What I find really interesting is I like to go back like from the previous year. And this is just talking about my money circle in my life, but I like to set these goals for myself that, all right, by this time next year, I'm going to see a 20% income in, or excuse me, 20% increase in my income since this time last year. And so I set those little goals for myself to kind of stay on track, to keep chasing to the new dreams and that next step that I see myself going. And so set those goals for yourself. I think goals are very, very important to have, because if you don't have them, you're kind of just flying through a black box, if you want my opinion. So, have those goals for yourself, and, yes, have very attainable goals, but at the same time, set some very, very high expectations for yourself, because, you don't got to get down if you don't meet those expectations. Just ask yourself, hey, well, did I do better than this time last year? And if the answer is yes, that's all you can ever ask for. Just do your best in what you're trying to do for yourself and your family. So setting goals is very, very important, and checking in on those goals and the progress that you've made to get there, and maybe even have like accountability partners. Okay. I mean, myself, like in my girls mastermind group that I do, and we have our weekly Proverbs meetings and different things, sometimes I don't want to show up. I got a lot of crap going on throughout the week, and our meetings are Wednesdays at 9 a.m. And that 9 a.m. hour, sometimes I want to be doing other things. I want to be talking to my clients or calling up the underwriters of the insurance companies because they're open now, so. But it's important that I take that designated time just for myself and my girls to get connected again, and, kind of just check in on one another, provide that accountability and support. Because if you have that accountability, you'll notice that you will start to push yourself even further too. Like, my mom and I will go to the gym together, and I know if I don't show up at the gym Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, she's going to be calling me up saying, Hannah, where the hell are you? You should be here at the gym with me right now. 50 push-ups that you got to do. So it's good to have accountability partners, because I'll be honest, if it was just me going to the gym by myself, sometimes I'll find those excuses of, well, just maybe like 30 more minutes this morning, and I'll go run an extra mile or two on the treadmill tomorrow, and I'll just go to the gym tomorrow when it's more convenient for me. No, y'all, stay true to what you already promised and committed to yourself, because reminder, it's the pain of discipline and it's the pain of regret. And I'd rather have that first pain of discipline, just get over the hump, because then once I'm over it, it's smooth sailing from there, and I just keep going and going and going. So, check in with yourself, write these things down. Okay, it's very important, I think personally, to write things down. It doesn't matter if it's pen or paper, you keep all of your notes on your laptop or iPad, or however you keep organized for yourself, but write these things down, and your goals and just different things that you're going to start incorporating for yourself. I would even suggest that y'all have like a keep doing list. Okay, like hey, I'm doing this and I need to keep doing this, or I need to do better in these different areas towards this goal that I'm working for. So I would have that sort of list, like, hey, I need to keep doing this, and fine tuning that keep it on list. But then I would also even have like a stop it list. Hey Hannah, stop scheduling phone calls at 9:30 at night because you know that you'll get done at 10:30. You won't eat by that point, then you're up till all hours of the night, and then you gotta eat, which you're eating at the end of the night, then you go right to bed and all that food's sitting in your stomach and it's not great for you. So stop scheduling effing phone calls past 9:30 at night. Right? I mean, it's so simple, but I'm not following even those same things in my own life. So, have a stop doing list as well. I think that's important. So then you don't fall into the bad habits and expectations that you have for yourself. So that's a big one I'm also working on because I told you I'm working on boundaries right now. So set goals for yourself and start walking through and accomplishing some of these goals that you're setting. See where you're at from this point now to where you want to be in a year from now, or maybe even 6 months, and reevaluate how you're going to get there and the game plan that you need to get to that certain level. So you guys know what to do, okay? So accomplish those small wins and big wins that you have for yourself. And for my listeners, I want you to write in and tell me, what are you doing right now? What are some things in the different circles of your life that you're working on to accelerate you to that next groundbreaking point for yourself? I want to know some of the things that y'all are doing because this is just a learning environment. Maybe there's some things that you could teach me that I could incorporate. Here's something else that Jason Sipple has always taught me. Go outside and just basically touch grass, okay? Go outside, take off your shoes, and just go lay in the grass, go stand on the grass, whether it's the beach or just right outside of your front patio. Just go out there and go ground yourself for a little bit. Get out of the office, go take a walk somewhere, and it's okay. Your work is going to be here when you come back to it. So, something that I've just picked up from my colleagues here in the community and money mentors on my team that I think is very valuable. So, I want y'all to be disciplined. I want you to stay grateful because think about it. Just think about where you're at now compared to 3 years ago, when you thought you were just totally drowning in all of this stuff. So, I just want y'all to know that I'm very proud of you for taking the action steps to want to better yourself in your financial life, and start sharing this with the family, okay? It's totally okay to not be on the same page with everybody in your family, but just being on the same mindset wavelength, I think, is very, very important. So I want y'all to be on the same page with your spouses, your children, the family members. Not saying that y'all have to agree, but just be on the same page with everything and what you're doing. So, I don't think I have any comments as of right now. If I have anything, I'll be adding in a little bit of add ons throughout this episode here. But if you'll excuse me, I am going to take a little break for myself. I'm going to go walk on the beach for a little bit, maybe lay down, do some yoga, and kind of maybe take a little power cat nap here. Hey, money multipliers, quick little interruption in this episode. So I went to bed last night and, my mind really starts thinking whether I'm driving or I'm in the shower or right before bed, or sometimes I'll even wake up in the middle of the night and have some thoughts that pop up into my head. And this is why I think it's important. Always have a notepad next to your nightstand. So if you have these like thoughts, write your thoughts down, because we don't want to forget the thoughts. I always want to implement new things in my life. But I was thinking last night about the episode recording and something else that I want to talk to y'all about. If you have never heard about the 6 laws of wealth, I think this is very important when it comes to our mindset and carrying good habits throughout our financial life. So, real quick interruption in this episode, I wanted to walk through 6 laws of wealth because, I talked a lot about what we could do before, right? How we save the money, where we should be keeping the money at. But hey, what should I do with this wealth that I'm building for myself? I'm creating this cash bucket, and money is not made just by sitting somewhere hoarding it, right? And money is nothing more than a means of exchange. So what am I going to do with this money? So I kind of was thinking about this, and I want to share the 6 laws of wealth. So real quick, grab your cup of coffee if you haven't already, or your beverage that you're drinking, a little snack maybe that you're eating, and let's talk about these 6 laws of wealth. So, number one, save no less than 1/10 of your earnings. Okay, we kind of talked about that. Save at least 10% of what you're making. I won't go too deep into that one. Number two, make your money work for you. Okay. You know how I was kind of talking about invest in yourself? Well, invest in the knowledge, definitely, but make the money work for you. Money is not made just by sitting somewhere. We need to go put those little green men to work. I say that all the time. So go and put the money to work so that you're creating this army of green men who are out there working for you. So now you're really taking that time freedom back to yourself. So here's like just a little snippet of what's written here on my page. We are not taught how to make our money work for us. We are only taught how to work for the money. The 1/10 you kept should be put to work to earn more interest, and that interest is now creating additional interest workers that go to work to create more workers and wealth for you. So as I mentioned, we're creating our army of green men, and that's out there working for us. So when we save that 10%, those monies should go into the policy first, in my humble opinion. So now it's in that environment where it's earning us the uninterrupted compounding interest, and we're never losing out on the opportunity cost and the future earning rights of the money. But then that money is accumulating into the policy, and sure, you can keep it there, but might as well go and put the money to work, because it doesn't matter if the money's just sitting in the policy or it's out there working for us. It's going to keep earning us that guaranteed interest and dividends in the policy, no matter if we use the money or we don't use the money. And that's why we're taking out policy loans and not withdrawing the cash value from the policy. So now, number three, only invest in things that you know and understand. And that one's very important. I can't tell you how many people have lost their booty in things that they just put their money into, but they don't truly understand what's happening. I mean, prime example, y'all, you guys putting your money into a 401k, you guys just do it because, hey, that's what my coworkers are doing. It's what my parents taught me to do. My boss told me this is something that I should do to invest in my future, into my retirement plan for myself. So invest/lend to things/people who have shown, not just said, that they are experts in a specific industry through time, wisdom, experience, and the ability to pay. Avoid unnecessary risk due to greed or impatience. There is no getting rich quick. Time separates the truly wealthy and the imposters. So I love that little saying that Chris has in here. Now, number four, be realistic. Okay, so I think this kind of ties into number three. Just like how Chris is saying, there's no get rich quick kind of deal that leads to long-term wealth building for us. So be realistic. Wealth will flee its owner if the owner seeks unrealistic returns, or if its owner follows gurus or fraudsters in pursuit of romantic and unrealistic things and lifestyles, keeping up with the Joneses, or as Warren Buffett always says, when others are greedy, to be fearful; when others are fearful, to be greedy. So that kind of follows along like where Dad has always taught me, hey, Hannah, don't be a limerick. The limericks are the monkeys. If everybody's going that direction, you run in the total opposite direction, full freaking speed, right? Number five, be of service. Wealth shall find you if your heart and soul are focused on solving other people's problems. Unconditionally give and solve people's problems. Find joy in giving, and you will be rewarded handsomely. So I think that's important. You should always be giving back to your community. If you help enough people get what they want, you in return will get what you want. So be of service to other people. And if you provide this value and service, the money's just going to follow you anyways. And then finally, legacy. Be willing to share and pass on your knowledge. If one fails, we all fail. So Don't be greedy. This financial picture is so much more than just ourselves. We have our immediate family that maybe we're trying to support and leave something to, but also there's a huge community out there. I mean, that, in my opinion, is why I enjoy following like Elena Cardone so much, and her kids, her girls that they have, because they're solving other people's problems, passing the knowledge down to the community, and they're truly breaking the conventional teachings and wisdom that the government, banks want us to follow because they want us in those controls, just my opinion. So legacy is very important. Be a good student, right? Really listen and follow and just hear what other people are doing. I'm not saying you have to take everything into consideration or implement those strategies, but be a good student, be a sponge, absorb what's going on, and then from there, become an expert in that niche that you enjoy, you have a passion for, and then go out there and be the teachers to others. If it's really impacted you in your life, I think it's our duty to share the message with other people within the community too. So, with that being said, I was thinking about this last night, and I just wanted to kind of come on here and add this into today's episode. So, anyways, Hannah, take it back. I even remember when Dad used to be a chiropractor, and he would always say, because right, he would treat the patients, and his specialty was in the health circle, and so even like money, right? Okay, the number one cause to death is really heart attack and heart disease. Well, what's the number one reason of heart attack and heart disease? It's stress. You know what causes stress? Money and financial problems. So if we can just focus on this one circle in our life, it would just be beneficial to all different areas and circles of our lives. So what I want y'all to do is really invest in yourself. Spend the time, take a little bit of time out of your busy schedules, and just focus on these different circles and avenues of your life. Because I'm telling y'all, it's going to be paying off in the end, and you're definitely going to have that pain of discipline for right now to have those bonuses of rewards and gratitude and just everything later on in life. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Check back in next week on me. And please put your comments down below. I want to hear what y'all are doing to practice gratitude, the healthy mindsets and financial habits that you're doing in your life. So put a comment down below. And every single week, we're here every Tuesday. I'm back with another episode. So I will see you next week. And until then, kick some ass this week. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.